I've seen chroniclings of the history of our great leaders, and I think I know nearly all of them from the 18th century to now. I probably have read everybody's biography. This is the best chronicling I've seen of the life, the circumstances, and the experience of one of our leaders. This is the best document on the history and the experience, not only of a personality in the movement, but what's going on in the movement and why at the time. When we leave historical documents for our people to study the path we walk, this is going to rank up there in the top 5 of those historical documents that's documenting a segment of our life and documenting the life of an extraordinary young man.
Muslims of the Nation of Islam, leave me the hell alone. Talking about you got guns. What you doing with guns? You ain't supposed to have no gun. Damn fool. I have been almost assassinated before. 4 or 5 shot down all around me. Me shot here, shot here. My son was 9 years old, then bullets flying all around him. We don't have the guns for black people. That's right. We don't have the guns for our own kind. We have the guns for the cracker, for the beast, for the devil, for the white man. But it's also a Negro repellent when necessary. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Sonetta TV.
Shout out to Sonetta TV.
It seemed like everybody watched the House of Consciousness. Got them tuning in, hearing the states to every continent. You got your holy book, your references and documents. Then hit your brother's sign, get it cracking if you're confident. Sonetta TV, it don't get no more reality. It's helping us stay mindful of the struggle in totality. Humble yourself and let the commentary resonate. Living in these times, this here is sure to help you elevate.
In a new zone. Hope the dialogue ain't too strong. Y'all know that we've been waiting too long.
And ever since I stepped into this paradigm, it's the time all I got is building on my mind.
TV is a black throne, where kings and queens come get their facts on. Just be prepared to have your mind blown.
And ever since I stepped into this paradigm, most of the time all I got is freedom on my mind. For real, for real.
Peace and black power, family. Welcome to another House of Consciousness production. I have to admit, Brother Polight had the crowd jumping. Our people are a people of rhythm and spirit. So Brother Polight brought that spiritual energy, that entertainment energy. It was crazy. He came down the aisle like Floyd Mayweather with the rapper in front of him. On this case, Brother Polight had loaded Lux coming down with the boxing gloves and the robe on. It was spectacular. It was a nice event overall. So family, check out what I'm talking about. This right here is just the opening round. That's all it is, family. Just the opening round. Brother Polight coming down the aisle with loaded Lux. This was fire. If you missed it, one of the best.
As we continue, are you ready for the run? You know it. It's your brother.
I can't work. Beloved. A nigga came up, nigga came up. Nigga came up, nigga came up. A nigga came up, nigga came up. Nigga came up, told the game up. Hands in the air, pump them hard. This is dear to the ones involved with the career since a youngest start. Who would cheer for the underdog? Who never cared if he won the wars. Here cause I love the sport. Running off in my mind the things I find. Run the course in that time. Will and wine, the veil, the thread together is such a thin line. To remain after the rain to see my sunshine on. That's all I need. Money and cars and bras and weed. Get witty, one thing more he seeks. I insatiable, it's corporate greed. But the walk I lead. Had to do my thing, support my seed. Don't let the game distort my feet. I'ma break the chains to all us free. Let choices leave a man right where he stands. Decide to side to play your hand and take a chance. You gotta learn to lose and love the life you in to make a plan to take a stand. I said I won't go back. I said I can't go back. I ain't some roads back. Gotta slow down, from the front row pack. And it goes like that, baby. Up out in a hurry. Riding around here dirty. Did another way. I prayed to God and he heard me. Now we moving sturdy. Yes, sir. Nigga came up to the game. Look at me, king. Dreams, trying to fill daddy big jeans. Hit the scene about 16. Started on my own, me and 12 moving O's out of 6E. Young and dumb, trying to live free, just trying to just be. Hit a party, bag a chick beat. We would compete, real shit from the concrete. Million ways to get it. All a nigga trying to figure out is how to make it out in one piece. Sheesh, nowadays I got a better way to get it. All she knows, she wanna let a nigga get it. Mansion daddy with the elevators in it. Fancy cars, power accelerated engines. Custom daddy talking telemed edition. Heaven, baby, send me hella nigga pictures. I asked the homie, is you working or you wish you own the diner or you working in the kitchen? Choices leave a man right where he stands beside your side and play your hand. You gotta learn to lose and love the life you in and make a plan to take a stand. Cause no, I won't go back. I said I can't go back. I hear some rows back at a sold out show. From the front row pack. And it goes like that, baby. Up out in a hurry, hurry. Riding around here dirty, dirty. Did another way. I pray to God and he heard me. Look at me, can we moving sturdy, sturdy. Started on my own. Now my whole family eating. I'm right back on the throne. Look at me, king. Nigga came up, nigga came up. Yes, sir. Nigga came up, nigga came. Yes, sir. A nigga came up, nigga came. Yes, sir. Nigga came up to the game. Look at me, a nigga came up, nigga came up. Nigga came up, nigga came. Yes, sir. A nigga came up, nigga came. Yes, sir. Nigga came up to the game. Look at me, king. Feel like all my life was for this moment. The work so hard and see the fruits of our labor. Look at me, king. I mean, we here. Nigga came up, nigga came. We set our minds on something, we put that work in, now we here. Nigga came up to the game. Look at me, king. I'm out in a hurry, hurry. Riding around here dirty, dirty. Did another way. I prayed to God and he heard me, heard me. Now we moving sturdy, sturdy. Started on my own. Now my whole family eating. I'm right back on the throne. Look at me, king. Came up, nigga came. Yes, sir. Nigga came up, nigga came. Yes, sir.
Okay, hotel. To my brother, Doctor, can I have you come up, brother? Because we're going to talk about the rules and regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see, I want a straight out way. I just want our brothers to be with each other, and as an elder, I am just so proud to be between these two guys. Brother Dr. Ali, Muhammad, I respect you, I honor you. Come to us with the truth as it deals with as much as we can possibly deal with. You are going to present to us ideas and concepts that's going to blow our minds. And we appreciate the work that you do. I'm honored to be able to introduce you, my brother. My brother Polight. I honor and respect you. I respect everything about you, all that you've gone through. We all do. We are looking for you to express to us ideas so that we can take it back. Combining with what Brother Sutek said, and what Brother Barrett said, and what all of the communities, and remember Najee is watching us.
That's right. That's right.
Najee is watching us. We are talking to our future. Najee, please stand up. In fact, Najee, come on up here for a minute. Because we're going to bring up the very reason why we're here today. Brother Najee, please, if you would embrace Dr. Ali Muhammad, embrace this brother. This brother loves you and respects you. This brother's going to say things to you and to all of your other younger brothers, and to you, Brother Polight, and your genius. You, Brother Dr. Ali Muhammad, and your genius. Please, would you all shake and embrace like African men? And with that, let us search for Ma'at. This is round number one. Round number one is the historical origins of Islam in retrospect to indigenous people worldwide. Is it good or is it not good? Is it Ma'at or is it Ishfet? The road you're on is Ishfet when you're not on Ma'at.
That's right.
To Africans, there was no good and bad, right or wrong.
That's right.
There was what was right and what existed when it wasn't right.
That's right.
Let's take the right from these two giant younger brothers who are about to astound you with their wisdom and their knowledge. My brothers, Let this formal discussion, this search for Ma'at, let it begin. First up, Brother Polight.
Yes. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we're going to get straight to work. I thank everybody for showing up.
We're starting? We're starting?
Yes. Give me word.
Yes, sir.
Be on? You owe me 2 seconds. A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Quoting the most honorable Marcus Moshe Garvey. So today we're undergoing the historical origins of Islam, and what I want to home in on my opening round, so you can understand, better be able to understand what I'm coming with in the main round. But this is just the opening. I want you to understand these 2 particular terms here: acculturation and enculturation. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Of course, I released a tome today. This is my release of my 85th book. It's called The Philological Indictment for Islam: The Historical Origins of Islam in Retrospect to Its Effect on Indigenous People World Over, Good or Bad. It's an indictment. This is not a diatribe against Muslims. I appreciate everything, more especially in the case of what black Muslims have contributed to our community. And I can do another lecture on all the many contributions that they gave to us that affected us progressively. However, today's subject matter is about the historical origins of Islam and how it impacts our lives every day, and how it has impacted our lives since the time of its purported inception. We go to the next one. Okay, so enculturation is the process by which an individual learns the traditional content of a culture. Go back. Enculturation is the process in which we learn the traditional concepts, go back, of a culture, and assimilates its practices and values. That's enculturation. That's the natural, organic process that takes place when we're left alone to our own vices. We'll see what we're made up of. Okay, that's called enculturation. Acculturation is a cultural modification of an individual, group, or people by adapting to or borrowing traits from another culture. A merging of cultures as a result of prolonged contact. The process by which a human being acquires the culture of a particular society from infancy. Many of you have been born into religions that had you not been living in your diaspora, had you not been enslaved, had you not been dislodged in society, you would have never been making subscriptions to all the religions that you deal with today. This is called acculturation. When you're born into something by infancy, not necessarily brought into that doctrine by infancy, but being the subject of that particular doctrine because of your geographical locale. So when you go to a sneaker store, you think you pick the sneaker that you want, but you're only choosing from the selection that someone chose for you to choose from. You know what I'm saying? So the grocery stores, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. What's the odds of any of us really being Buddhist if it's not in the hood accessible? So we adopted traditions, lifestyle, cultures, and customs by default of the fact that this is what was accessible until someone teaches us how to truly discern. Will is the mental faculty in which a human being has the ability to discern right from wrong. We haven't even begun to use our will yet, as far as culture is concerned. We go to the next slide. So these things are all very important. There's something called a placebo response. It's a positive medical response to taking a placebo as if it were an active medication. They have done tests where they're giving people pills that were duds. And because they believed that it would heal them, they were healed. So people say, how can you knock Islam? Look what it has done for our people. Because you believe you were healed by that. But I know why it was created. I know what Islam did last summer. Islam is an autoimmune disease. What is an autoimmune disease? It's an illness that occurs when the body tissues are attacked by its own immune system. Islam teaches us to go against our own. I'm not talking about the good Muslim that chooses to be selective about subscribing to its passages. I'm talking about the devout Muslim that does everything that Allah tells them to do. I'm talking about the devout Muslim that does everything that they said Prophet Muhammad has done. I'm talking about the devout Muslim, the die-hard Muslim. I'm not talking about the Negro who knows they're not down with the suicide bomb, that makes modifications in Islam that is befitting to their personal nature and character. There's a difference between the two. We have done something remarkable with what we call Islam, because it's out of control. That's right. Nation Islam did a good job cleaning it up for the most part. The Moorish Science Temple did a great job cleaning it up for the most part. We cleaned it up, and if there was no need to clean it up, we wouldn't create additional corpuses to the doctrine. Because Dr. York had to write a holy tablet despite the fact he was in the Muslim school of thought. And Noble Drew Ali had to give you a Quran Circle 7, despite the fact that Islam was supposed to be enough. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad had to give you lessons that you commit to memory more than you commit the Quran to memory, because obviously the Quran wasn't enough. And the 5 percenters, their leader, Allah, Clarence 13X, had to create lessons because the Quran obviously wasn't good enough. We don't see Christians doing that. You don't see the Israelites creating up their own lessons. Apparently Islam needs support. And if you run up on any one of these 5%, Nation of the Gods and Earth, Moorish Science people, first thing they're going to say, the Prophet said. That's the first thing they're going to say. Who's the original man? That's not in the Quran. But we're going to commit those lessons to memory, because those brothers all knew to use the religion as a cloaking device to which they can reach their people. Because as long as niggas is doing religion, the oppressor will lighten up on you a little. But we live in 2014, video game era, online, internet era. There's no need for this no more. We go to the next one. So Islam is an autoimmune disease that causes us to attack each other. So here goes into the Noble Quran. It says this in the Quran: let not believers take disbelievers as allies rather than believers. And whoever of you does that has nothing with Allah, except when taking precaution against them imprudence. And Allah warns you of himself, and Allah is the final destination. That's Surah 328. It says, only pretend to be the friend of somebody that is not a Muslim if you have to protect yourself and save yourself. But other than that, never take no one that doesn't subscribe to Islam as your brother. Is this good for our community? No. I'm just doing what Allah says. So after what Allah says, there will be none of this. There's no way you can switch it around, because the Arabic word right here, aliyah, means allies. Not a mistranslation. I'takatu, as precaution. So pretend to be those niggas' friends when you're around them, if it works to your advantage. But when you go home secretly, you have your reservations about me as your brother. So now that I've been reading this book, I'm starting wondering about everybody that calls himself a Muslim. Are you the one that doesn't follow everything in there, or are you the one that is following everything in there? It makes me uncomfortable. What I'm actually do, go against what your God says? Should the black community encourage people to go against what their God says? Go again. Let's go to the next one. I don't make these things up. I don't know how we can survive as a community, because you're not part of my community. I'm not going to make you an ally. Do you understand when a Moorish Science Temple member is walking the streets and he tries to tell somebody about his nationality and the policeman is like, nigga, I will club you. You say that sorry word one more time. Do you think that he's saying, oh, this is a card-bearing member, let's bypass and get another Negro? He's obviously not black, he's white, if you know the doctrine. Do you think when the white man sees the Hebrew Israelites walking down the block, he makes a differentiation amongst the ones that's wearing the 6-point character image, child love, or the 5-point star on the Moor flag? So he says, hold on, sir, are you a card-bearing member of the Moorish Science Temple? Pass, let's get the Israelites. He makes no distinction amongst us as black people. As far as he's concerned, our president thinks we're all niggas. Right. So what is Allah telling us not to make allies of each other when we got one thing in common, and that's oppression by the same damn folks? So I'm against those teachers. And until someone stands here and says, that's a mistranslation, I'm against it. And I got every right to be. Go to the next one. Oh, hold on, stay there, don't move. Let's go back. This is very important. Let's go back. I came here to work today. So Minister Louis Farrakhan says, I may have been complicit in words that I spoke leading up to February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X's death.
5 minutes.
Cool. And now we look at this and we say, wow. Let's look what Islam tells us. Oh, you who have believed, kill those adjacent to you.
This is the origin of kinky hair. Because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that.
He said Elijah Muhammad taught
us. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight. The hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrows straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrows? That's why you're so busy frying. That's why you're so busy pulling. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. Wow. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person.
God would intercept.
We were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society.
Now we're going to be disfigured.
You hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external.
Stop that. But people get mad at me.
Go ahead, Polight.
Y'all mad at me.
Blow that shit up.
But you said, if I got nappy hair, a broad nose, and big lips, I'm disfigured, and it shows that God condemns me. Ali Muhammad joined that organization. I love him. Farrakhan said he learned that from Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But my thing is this. If Minister Louis Farrakhan starts slicking his hair and getting the waves on the wrong side of his head, if he does this, walk with me, y'all. If he does this, wow, we surprised when we see the image of his God. If this guy said he came in and he is Allah in the flesh, he is God in person, shouldn't he describe himself as excellence?
Go ahead, Polight.
So how you gonna get mad at me? See, he talking about Islam, and now he's gonna say, this ain't nothing to me. He ain't debating Farrakhan. Yeah, he says, oh, we talking about Islam.
That's right.
And Ali wrote a thesis saying it has influenced us, it helped us in America. Let's go to the next one. So why are you shocked when Scientology gets involved? Look at the visible image of his God.
Damn.
Let's go. This disease is called prosopagnosia. You might think that you see objects and faces the same way. No. The fusiform in the brain makes a distinction amongst faces and objects. Some people are face blind. Some people go through variants of face blindness called prosopagnosia. The slaves had an acute form of prosopagnosia. When you are not surrounded by your race for too long, house nigga in the house serving the white man, or you're given adoption where the God don't like you. It makes it hard for you to make a distinction amongst you and other people. It makes you uncomfortable with yourself. Some of the symptoms are to keep changing yourself every time, looking for change, and each time it's to no avail. Some of the symptoms are you call your daughter by the other daughter's name by accident. Sometimes people staring right at you saying, hey, 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 and it takes them a long time for it to register. It's prosopagnosia. Why is this important? Because Islam teaches us about something other than ourselves, which in turn contorts our perception. It's called prosopagnosia. You will understand what all of this has to do with Islam when I'm done. I'd like to thank you for your time and your support. Appreciate it.
Okay. Wow. Wasn't that a 2-ton stone?
We are going.
Well, we're ready for the next 2-ton stone.
You going to get some water?
Brothers and sisters, one of the characteristics, one of the most important characteristics of this formal discussion, do not come to a conclusion yet.
That's right.
You got to hear the other side. Remember those 2-ton stones? They're heavy. But it's only when you bring them together that you see the whole truth. That was some heavy stuff just dropped. Wasn't it heavy?
Yes, sir.
Well, come on now. Let's get ready for something equally heavy. Because I want to hear this. In fact, I think I'm going to stand up. I hear better when I stand. I am excited, brothers and sisters, about this concept because we need to hear this. We're afraid to hear this. We must hear this to come to our conclusion. It's good, it's healthy. Brother Polight, it's obvious he did his research. And it's going to be even more obvious that our brother Dr. Ali Muhammad has done his research. Let us keep an open mind.
That's right.
And let us move into the next 2-ton stone. Let us introduce our brother.
Give him 1 minute.
Brother's asking for moments. Because brothers and sisters, this is just, for me, I'm just excited because you see, like I've often told folk, don't believe a word I say. I'm not here for you to believe me. The brother has presented his information. I like that. I like the research, to be able to see and to understand. No matter how controversial it must be, we will never be able to do what we need to do until we see that truth smack us in the face.
That's right.
Stop creating idols. We become, you know, someone once told me that I'm an iconoclast. I had to look that word up. I said, icon what? And I looked it up, and icon is an image, and an iconoclast is an image breaker. And it's only when you break the image that you see it for what it is. It's like the Wizard of Oz, who projected himself as a very large image, but in fact was a very small man. And when that dog Toto pulled back the screen, you saw who the Wiz was. This is what these discussions do. And it's wonderful and it's healthy. Try not to internalize this. This is not emotional. This is information. These are facts and figures. And I'm excited to see it amongst our young people because the okie doke that we've been going through for too long, we just let anybody amongst us and we believe what they say. And what is happening here and what the future holds is for us as a people to take the sense out of the nonsense. To build a real, you know, when brother, that was the first time I knew what HSBC meant. I knew it wasn't us. Same thing with TD.
Right.
TD is Toronto. That's what the T of TD stand for.
Come on now.
We have the capacity. We have the ability to do what needs to be done, brothers and sisters. We have it. Look at what we've done. African Bambaataa. The brothers and sisters in the hip-hop nation, I watched it. I was a part of that generation moving through. They wouldn't let us in because they felt that Motown and others had done such a great job. Sam Cooke. owned his own record label, and his first person on his label was Muhammad Ali. And the album of rap or poetry was called The Greatest. It wasn't long before he was shot in a motel. So they told him, no, y'all can't get up in here, y'all can't do this. So what did people like Africa do? He went into business for himself. And then when they observed what this brother was doing, dropping the knowledge and the wisdom, successful, what did they do? They co-opted it. And now, they have their own person up talking about the king of hip-hop, the king of rock and roll. My brothers and sisters, are we ready for the next song? Please, with a clear mind, let us welcome our brother Dr. Ali Muhammad.
Peace. Black power. Hotel. Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor to be here today. I want to give a special shout out to Brother Nabi of the National Black Theater, because there's not many places that are allowing us to come and talk about them the way that we talk about them. Thank the House of Consciousness for staying with us. I remember Sinetta when his name wasn't Sinetta. That's how long I've been around. I ain't gonna tell him what your name was though. You can say it. Salih Quran. Y'all don't remember that. So some of y'all don't know me, but I've been in the cut for a long time. I remember when there wasn't no Polight. No blue or red pills. No AA Rashid. None of them. I was here. So I'm an old schooler. So I'm gonna give my young brother a spanking today. Now, Polight, from my heart, brother, you are one of the most brilliant young men that I have ever seen in my life. That's from the heart. But some of the elders who don't show up, who are supposed to come, I'm gonna be your elder today. Teach, baby. In the sense that your brilliance sometimes can be your greatest challenge. Right. Now, you didn't come to debate Minister Farrakhan. As a matter of fact, I'm not even allowed in Minister Farrakhan's mouth. And I challenge Polight to go find those words directly from the mouth of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's right. I challenge. That's right. Just like Slick Willie Farrakhan said it. I want you to find it. See, because Polight's gift is his mind, but his challenge is his two-step. That's his challenge. He'll dance around the truth, especially on the historical origins of Islam, because he don't know it. It's okay. The second part of this lecture is going to be great. We're going to talk about the real subject. But Polight is unqualified to comment on the historical origins of Islam because he don't even know where to look. And I want you to look inside of his presentation to see if he can know where to go to find the real historical origins of Islam. Now, I'm not here to try to make you a Muslim. I could give a damn about religion. I hate it, as a matter of fact. I don't care about none of this stuff. The only thing I love is black people, period. That's it. Nothing. If Polight was to convince me that this was some bullshit, I'd throw that thing in the trash like I threw Christianity in the trash when I was 11 years old and tried to get me to go get saved. Nigga, I ain't going. Now, of course, Elijah Muhammad's teachings are great. And of course, they have flaws. They're supposed to be. Who is Elijah Muhammad? Is he greater than the whole? He's just a great man that did his best, the best that he could. Just like Dr. York. Do I need to do a dissertation on Dr. York? Do I need to show the videos? I got them. See, we don't need to go there. That's a distraction. That is a distraction. We need to talk about the historical origins of Islam. Not all these Noble Drew Ali, this one one said this one is different, but this one, Mr. Farrakhan don't like Malcolm X. Hell, I can take some hieroglyphics which I got in this book and show you Egyptians enslaving Nubians. And you say that they're from Nubians. A whole history of dynasties with nooses around their neck. But that's not the discussion. Why would I beat up, is now Egypt not Maiatic? Since we're supposed to be doing this in the spirit of Maiat, are you going to cast iron stamp on those pharaohs who enslaved their own people? Do you know how long black on black crime been happening, niggas? This ain't nothing new to me. So y'all just got conscious. Now just start reading. So you're all into your Medunetzer and your Arabic and all of that. I don't care nothing about that. I want to get rid of these crackers and get niggas who love them out of the way. That's it. That's my religion. But I will take some time to objectively look at Islam, and if it's bullshit, bust it down the toilet. Right. If it ain't, why keep slandering something you didn't even do the knowledge of, God? Okay. So, hopefully this works. Got some hands over here. All right. The polite flop. Keep me on my time. How much time I got? 9 minutes with a 5-minute break. Polite flop. Polight can never come up here and tell you that he knows 7 languages. I'm going to subtract Arabic today. The Hebrew subtracted Hebrew a few weeks ago. He down to 5. We're going to cancel out Ebonics, so now you're on 4. You made up a language for New Covenant, so we'll give you that. Let's go. Good job. But you said that you are fluent in classical Arabic. Fluent. Then you went in the weigh-in and you showed this verse, which if it were true, this would make me throw Islam in the trash. The verse says that Muhammad took prisoners of war and made them wives, and that Islam is a slave religion because of that. And he showed this translation. A man fluent in 7 languages would take the time before he makes such an audacious statement. To 2 billion people, as a matter of fact, to 1 billion women. He's telling them the man that they adore was nothing but a slave runner who took them as pieces of property. And if that's true, Islam gone. Then, let's read. O prophet, we have made lawful to you wives, to whom thou hast paid their dowries, and to those whom your right hand possesses out of the prisoners of war, whom Allah has assigned to you. Go back and watch the way in. This is what he said. Then his teacher, who's fluent in 19 languages. Matter of fact, he's been to other star systems that we don't even know exist. He's in prison right now talking to aliens. And floating, but he can't get out. But he knows 19 languages. And he goes on to say the same thing, that we're taken in battle. And according to Polight, this word is kitab. Kitab. Now, Polight, no disrespect, but you should have got this Quran, which is actually translated by a woman. Did you go and look at all the Quranic translations so you could do the best that you could? Or you so in a rush to get at Ali Muhammad that you had to just put that in and skip over your classical Arabic? Look, she shows you that that verse is not there. I'm going to show you that verse is not there, and I'm going to give you the word. So check this out, Polight. Find me the words that mean prisoner, or war, or kill on there, and I'll give you the mic for 30 seconds to point it out right now. You want to do it? You want to do it? On my time. Okay. You want to come up and show them where the word is that you say prisoners of war is in this verse, Surah 33, verse 50? Or are you going to apologize to 1 billion women for lying? Thank you. Are you going to do it? 1 billion women, man. If they follow the slave runner, you're right. All of them need to leave that bullshit. But if you inserted that or you missed it, that shows that you didn't take the due care as a researcher. When you come before people who have been abused and lied to and told all kind of bullshit, you gotta take your time. It's not there. This is my translation. Attention to you, Nabi. Leader, we have made lawful to you your wives, to whom you have offered dowries, and those whom you have maintained with justice, and of whom Allah has given you. Maintain them with justice. That's what we're supposed to do. If you get one wise from the Creator, respect them. But you lied on these people and you can't find the words. Let me tell you where the words are for how many times the word prisoner shows up. The word for war, kital, which Polight says kill. The word kital does not mean kill. If you want to deal with kill or death, use the word maut. Maut, a death. Kital means to make war. Sitchin means to make prisoner. So now you got time to go look up these verses. 1239, 12 Surah, 1241, 2629, and y'all online right now, y'all can look these up, and y'all can see that the word prisoner and war was only mentioned 4 times in the Quran. And it wasn't in that verse. Now that might seem like a little small.
5 minutes.
Small.
5 minutes.
Grace or regular? Okay, I got 10 minutes. That might seem like a little small thing. But you're going to go into an ancient language using crackers. Pictol? Y'all know who Martin Pictol is, man? This racist nigga out of the Society of Jesus? Translating your ancestors' information? And you're not going to check that devil? You're going to throw it up into the screen and now it's all over YouTube and your reputation is on the line. Now you got to deal with somebody. See, debates is good. Debates are good, brother, because you can't get away. So now the word is not even there. You owe 1 billion Muslim women an apology. We want it today. Live on YouTube. Live stream. In the name of Allah. So, check this out. Here's the issue. I'm not going to believe at that point. We got that. We know what you did. Is Islam even relevant today? Because it is an old system founded a long time ago. Is it relevant? What would it be relevant for? What do black people need with Islam? Well, they say, man, throw that shit away. We don't need that. What about the principles? Let's take the word away, because y'all spooked out. I know this is in New York, the towers went down, and everybody's scared to be Al-Qaeda. Cool. Cool. But if your ancestors were predominantly Muslims, and I can prove that they founded something phenomenal, why not just study it? Why not? It helps build the bridges of unity. So you, as the myotic priest, won't be hating on your Muslima sister or brother. Then y'all can talk, not via the white man, but via your own ancestral roots with no intercessors, man. But you can't go to Polight for that. Polight is good at other stuff. You're just not good at this. So don't be running out on things you're not good at. That's all I'm saying, Polight. Lesson from there. So, is it relevant? Your ancestors were in West Africa, and how did they get Islam? Did they get it because slave running Arabs brought it to them? Do you know that the Quran is an anti-Arab book? You know how much fire that the Quran gives to the Arabs? Do you know that Arabic is not even considered the language in the book according to the book? See, you gotta have conversations with people, man. And we're here. We don't need no more debates on this subject. West Africa, right here, you have the Almoravid who came down into West Africa and founded what we call Timbuktu. Black scholars like Chancellor Williams, God bless his soul, he's great. But they need to be corrected. He made up a half-truth to his own detriment that some Muslims came down into Timbuktu and sacked Timbuktu. No, it was Arabs. And according to the Quran, you gotta be black to be a Muslim. I'm gonna show you. So the Arabs cannot be Muslims by Islamic law. Challenge me on it. Word for word. 6,363 verses. I chop your ass up. Bring the Arab scholars. They don't want to debate nobody like me. They'd rather suicide. Allahu Akbar. So if you want to know what happened in West Africa, this is what you need to look at. Black on black crime been going on for a long time. Sure, the Arabs in East Africa came down into Oman and had over 1,000 years of slavery. We know that. But why throw the name Muslim on them when the Quran doesn't suggest that they're Muslims? Why imprint that on them? Look, You want to see who was enslaving people in Africa? The kingdom of freedom, the kingdom of the home, the kingdom of people. Does that mean I should throw Ifa away? Hell no! That means you have some niggas there. And there's always some niggas messing up some shit. Always. But you ain't gonna throw away my holy systems because of some niggas. We'll be left with nothing. Yeah, we ain't getting rid of voodoo. Muslims love voodoo. We practice voodoo. You didn't know that? You're gonna learn before the day is out. I did a spell before I came in, goddammit. That's why I ain't worried about nothing. I got a billion ancestors standing with me right now. Well, I ain't got nothing for a billion ancestors unless he bringing more. But then we got the same ancestry. The same blood running through our veins. The same brothers. Just different avenues. That's why I love my brother. But you're going to have to deal with this when I come back up. Because Africans enslaved their own African Muslim brothers and sisters in concert with Europeans. You cannot find one time in West Africa where you had one civilization of Muslims who allied with the white man to enslave their own African brothers. Find it! 5 minutes. Find it with the sources. We got the slave ship operation. We know what happened in Angola and the Congo. Our brothers and sisters sold by their own leaders. Voodoo priests selling over 400 wives to the Portuguese. Niggas! We don't care if you're black, unless you're black power. That don't mean nothing no more on this earth. It's a potential for you to do right, but if you're subject to these Europeans, you got a problem. So, I'm going to walk through this history. Let me... 4 minute grace. Thank you, sir. All right. So, is Islam relevant? Is it relevant? Polight, you have to slow down. This is your quote before I debated natural taboo. And you were so adamant about getting to debate me then. But you made a slip. How are you, as great as you are, going to make statements like this on YouTube with videos still up and our little brothers still watching them just because you want to run with something that a half-taught, learned teacher gave you? Check it. This is your statement. All men are evolving into women, and women are evolving into something we can't even imagine. I'm not going to play the video because your family is here. I ain't playing the video. But the video is online, and you remember you was right out here when you said it. We had a whole war about that thing. Because I'm wondering, like, wait a minute now, God, hold on. All right, now we're battling, but I ain't evolving into no damn woman. I love women. This is your statement. Now, is Islam relevant? Because if you were using the principles of Islam, you would say, hell no, goddammit, I'm a man. Maya, I'm a man. That's what he made me. Polight. When someone young sees that, one clip, they have an excuse to do this. Can y'all, can somebody press the keypad for me when this next one comes up? I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Play it. Sound on. Play it. Young men evolving into women in 2014 are the principles of Islam relevant? Play that, man. I'm tired of y'all scared to touch my... What's going on? What's going on, black people? Just tap the damn thing. Hold on. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna sue you. I ain't into that. Hold on. All right. That's cool. Are we evolving into women? Huh? If they see you online, what are they gonna think about this? I ain't gonna play the whole thing.
About to make a big now. Yeah. Throw that boy pussy. 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 Throw that boy pussy.
Now, why am I playing that? Because one young guy can see you online with this one statement. And he can run with it. He can run with it. The conscious people don't mind if I'm evolving into something different. So, Ali Muhammad makes mistakes when people correct me. If I would have ever said something like this, I'd do another video like, yo, cut that out, son. Ayat, Islam, all the things that we need. 1 minute. So is Islam relevant? Is it even relevant? When Dr. York go before white people and plead guilty to 74 counts of molestation, I don't care what the goddamn excuse is.
Right. That's right.
Goddamn it, this is your organization that's gonna get sunk. Nigga, give me the 44 revolver. I go back to the creator before I get before some devil and commit some damn atrocity before my goddamn people. And if you can talk about Islam, brother, why the hell you can't take this? In the name of Maya, Amun-Ra, Atun, Allah, Owutumare, Okun. Our teachers make mistakes. Elijah Muhammad made mistakes. Malcolm X made mistakes. We need to correct them, but you gotta know how to correct them. You can't correct them running out. You can't even read Arabic. You telling people you can read 7 different languages. They're gonna start thinking you an imposter. And you're too great. So you need your ass whooped today. Out of love, brother. Because you are the future. But you gotta slow down. Assalamu alaikum.
There's going to be 2 rounds and 2 parts. After this next round, we're going to take a break. Because I think we're going to need it. I know I need it. Because I've been, I'm in school, I'm taking notes, I'm learning vocabulary words. Prosopagnosia. Acculturation. I feel like I'm in class. Let us now. Okay. If we can just kind of get it together. For round 2, 40 minutes to continue the concept. We are going to bring forward our great scholar, our great genius, our brother, Dr. Ali Muhammad.
Tell me one more time when we start. I'm going to get a little messy up here. Yeah. Let's get over. You ready? Peace, y'all. All right. I came here today because I wanted to talk about our socio-political reality. Polight decided that he wanted to inject Islam as a part of the conversation. I thought about it. I said, cool. Because I know that most of our people, unfortunately, haven't had access to the materials that could really help them understand that one aspect of black culture. So you're going to take your pens out, take some mental notes, because some of the stuff you've never heard before, but I want you to focus on the topic, the historical origins of Islam. Where does it come from? And is it even relevant today? Is it relevant? Now some of the stuff I just showed you, Polight's own statements, throw that boy, power you. If you're telling me that black people don't need systems of discipline of any type, you out of your damn mind. You out of your mind. Now, if you are against religion yourself, because you know better than somebody else, or you think you know better than somebody else, how did you come to know better than somebody else? You say you practice Maya and you're better than the Christian? If the Christian is striving his best with the only thing that he knows, leave him alone, educate him where you can. But don't tell him to leave this system of discipline, because you're waiting on E.A. Wallace, Buzz, and Bruce and all these crackers to tell you what's in the better never. I know most of you don't know. We've been here in the hills of North America, and we've been following white people hook, line, and sinker. And they have been translating the text and telling us what this means and what that means. The only thing that we know is that we black here and we've been suffering. And everything else is belief. You say you don't subscribe to belief? Give me 3 minutes with you. Is Islam relevant? Is it even relevant today? Is any system of discipline relevant? Look, these are boys. You see how they are. These are Persians who developed the first high heel shoes. The men wore them. Then they put them on the women. Please don't block the screen. This is King Louis the 16th in France. One of the first wearers of high heel shoes. Right? Now here you go, black woman. You look real good. You do actually, goddamn. I ain't gonna lie about that. But all right, you look good. But then as I get knowledge and I'm wondering why you're giving me all these damn problems, or I'm giving you all these problems, we have one culprit to look to. White people. That's right. Oh, Brother Ali, we gotta get out of that. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. You know why we don't? Because white people have outsmarted your ass. Right. And what you look like telling yourself you smarter than them now when they still whooping your ass. Right. That's right. If you got a bloody mouth with somebody pounding on you, you gonna fight back or run? And you haven't fought back. Not in the way that you would if you had your original mind. So every meta-optical, metaphysical image that imprints into your consciousness since the time you've been dealing with these devils has an impact on how you think, behave, and do everything that you do in your life. And you see that this comes from these white men from Europe, and you walking around like that. And let me give you the 10-question survey to see if you passed the my test to be a good wife or be a good brother. If these are the images, brothers, that we want our women to have, no wonder the fallout is happening like it's happening. No wonder. So, is Islam relevant? Which one? Which one you gonna chase the quickest, brother? Commitment or not? Which one is how the women of Islam would dress when we rule the goddamn world? But Islam is irrelevant, and we scrubbing and scribing with ISIS new coming in the House of Consciousness to reach 5,000 people, and these black people took over the goddamn world, and we trying to compare ourselves to them? How much humility is in that, man? There ain't no goddamn humility. I can't touch that my ancestors done because I only reached a few thousand people. What the hell I look like took my chest out for? They went to war with blood against the Romans and the Byzantines and the Sasanians. What the hell are we doing? Huh? The Quran says slavery is worse than death. That's the attitude the men have. What kind of attitude you got? You want to get with me on Facebook, nigga? Cyberspace. Cybermores. But Islam ain't relevant though. But they bang on white people and put their ass in a suitcase, but it ain't relevant. Oh, somebody lost their goddamn mind. That's my daughter on the left. Is Islam relevant? Shit, we got TVs. She sees these images. We struggle with our own children. Right. Each and every one of us here know we're struggling with our own children to fight against this bullshit. And Islam teaches her this is how she looked and this is what she's seeing most of the time. But Islam ain't relevant. It ain't relevant today. Hell, is my eye relevant? Did women in my eye dress like we dress for the most part today? Hell no. Did they think like we thought? Hell no. That's why they ruled the goddamn planet. But we coming up with some new culture after we've been enslaved. And these are people who were free for centuries, but Islam is irrelevant. What does the Quran say about these high heel shoes? And tell the women of our jurisdiction, the mu'min, to lower their desire to gaze. Let's jump all the way down. They shall not strike their feet with high heels, prominent sexual female features, when they walk in order to shake and reveal certain details of their body. Why would Islam prescribe something like this as a law in the civilization for women? Because when you set up the dichotomy where women have to compete with the next women, then everybody starts to compete with each other, and you can't build a sisterhood. She compete with you, her eyes got a heel got to be higher than yours. Niggas walking on stilts now just to look at the men look at it. You about to fall down and you riding the bus. But Islam ain't relevant. And it's teaching you to get rid of that competition so these sisters can work together. But it ain't relevant though. The corpus is not relevant. Damn, Polight, why are we even talking about this? Let's hurry up and get to part 2. Look, the dangers. You got bunnies and corns just to walk down the damn street. Your Achilles heel is getting shorter. You can't even run no more. You're 25. The heel didn't shrunk your goddamn Achilles. Your calf is cramping. You ain't drinking no goddamn water. You drinking Pepsi. Because that's on the advertisement too. They advertise the post to you to get you the Pepsi, Sprite, McDonald's. Or you go vegan and then you start eating mushrooms and think you're doing something. But Islam ain't relevant because it teaches you not to eat those heterotropic foods, but you eat them, but you're better than the Muslims who gave you the advice not to eat them. Damn. That was a little shot. That's all right. Anybody eating mushrooms in? You know it's the fungus, right? Yeah. If you knew the Quran, you would know that. But Islam ain't relevant. So we so goddamn smart, we done outsmarted free people and we slaves. Okay. Brothers and sisters, look, the Russians about to outlaw this shit. Excuse my language. They're about to outlaw high heels. The white people about to outlaw high heels. Niggas is chasing them. Oh. Is Islam relevant? That's Minister Farrakhan. Listen. Rewind. Bobby Hemmings said something that's so funny, I gotta sit back and think about it. Bobby Hemmings said, that ain't the real Farrakhan, that's a clone. Hey, listen, I heard him say it. Some of y'all might have heard him say it too. Right? Yeah, I don't know. Bobby Hemmings can go out sometimes. But goddamn, I'm willing to believe him right now. Because this man sat with one of the most brilliant black men all of his young life, the most honorable Muhammad. God bless my soul for saying this, and damn near right now he's going against damn near everything the man said. You know how disappointed that is for me? To see somebody who I saw as so brilliant have his son marry that? Wow. And then he didn't make his son do it, but damn, don't take the pictures with it. In public? Why? Why do that? What's going to happen to the MGT who will have no husband? Who's sitting in the mosque and been in the mosque for 5 years, man? Waiting on a brother and she ain't got one, and then somebody up at headquarters shows them this. Heartbroken. But Islam ain't relevant. Is the Islam of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad not relevant now? In 2014, when his own student is betraying it with treason, but it's not relevant? All of it might not be relevant, but goddamn, some of it is. Look, we believe that intermarriage or race mixing should be prohibited. Allahu Akbar.
Yes, he should. That's right.
Goddamn it, you don't think that's African?
Yes, it is.
But Elijah Muhammad is irrelevant because he had a white teacher. But you're going to have to bring me what his white teacher said. Because I got it from all the people that were around him. And before I get to it, which will probably be in my rebuttal, he taught them that they were God. That's what he taught them. So he was white. 5,000 people in Detroit, 8,000 in Chicago. He taught them that the white man was their enemy, that the black man and woman is the original people of the planet Earth and their God. God damn, is that relevant in 2014? Yeah. It's not relevant? Wait a minute. It's not relevant for Brother Ali because he's white. Look at it. Man, listen. Let me go home to your library and show you all the white people who educating you right now. All the white schools you went to. That's not teaching that the black man or woman are the original people. Who you paying $50,000 a year to get in debt with for your whole life to get you an education. Look at you, look at us. I know how hypocritical that is. How? Did white people build a car that Polight came in today? Is he not going to drive the car now because white people didn't? They ain't telling him they're going to give him a free car. But Master Muhammad got to be a drug dealer who took people off of drugs? Why do we have conversations like this? This is what I call, in my house, dumb conversation. This part. Is Islam relevant? Is Islam relevant? Well, she ain't no Muslim. So why you on her? Her ancestors was most likely Muslim because they were snatched from West Africa. Or he's practicing something black that wasn't doing this. So if there's a doctrine that Elijah Muhammad brought and the historical Muslims brought that says that this is haram, that our ancient ancestors said was this fake, all of it is relevant, goddammit. Mayat, Islam, Olodumare, bring it all back. We need it. Because our women want to be white. Not all of y'all. Y'all obviously don't want to be. But your sisters are. Don't get all hyped. I can walk you down. You want to teach 10 sisters right now? Let's stop the cameras. They got the stilettos and the dyes in right now down the street. It's relevant. That's my point. That's my brother. Huh? If he watching this, he probably already mad with me. I don't care. I do this because I love you, brother. That's one of the most prolific MCs in the world. A man who I know loves black people, but this is what happens. You get hurt in a relationship and your training doesn't kick in and something else kicks in. Is Islam relevant? He's on the track with Jay-Z. They talk about running Yaqub back in the cave. Then you going to latch on to Yaqub? That's mixed signals, nigga. The young boys listen to you like, yeah, who is Yaqub? Yeah, oh, Yaqub, damn. Then they like, huh? Oh, yeah. Come on, Becky. Come on, Becky. Come on, Becky. Tawana don't want to act right tonight. I know you ain't saying nothing. Yeah, just be on your knees. Yeah, that's what that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's what she loved to do. Hey, listen. If you a white woman in here, goddammit, you owe us reparations anyway. I ain't gonna never love you till my people free. The hell with you. I can say, listen, I ain't gotta be the humanitarian. I don't gotta be the diplomat. I hate white people. In the name of every black ancestor that's been snatched from West Africa and the Americans. And that's what Islam teaches me, to hate white people. I'm gonna show you. Oh, brother, no, that's a lie. Some of y'all in here, I follow this. Let me show you what they never showed you. According to the Quran, the white man is the enemy.
That's right. He's a recession.
And that's who we fought. And that's who you scared to fight now. And they ain't telling you what Islam is. They took their damn tradition. And then they got you doing this. God damn it, I'll let Erica burn me in a damn bed before I go to this cracker. And no disrespect to him. He has the right to do what he want to do, and I got the right to do what I want to do. What is his daughter going to look like seeing her father with this? And he's supposed to follow Elijah Muhammad, who told him this is the last trick.
Last trick. That's right.
Is Islam relevant?
Yes, it's relevant.
Listen, I ain't got to the subject yet. Look at this man right here. Let me tell you why Islam is relevant. You run up on little 5'6" Elijah Muhammad in 1973, 72, 71, 65, your ass is grass. That's how we train. I don't know what kind of training you got. But you mess with our man, you dead. Period. Nothing. Allahu Akbar, take care of my family. But you got that going on. Check this out. I want to show you juxtaposition. Is Islam relevant? Then you got 6 million people who follow the most powerful, this actually makes me upset to even talk about this. You got 6 million people follow the most powerful black man in the world, and you let 8 crackers run up on him and take him out of this country with no blood, nigga? You ain't doing that to us, the Muslims. But we ain't relevant. We ain't relevant. What they gonna do if the police run up on New Covenant? Huh? I like to see. Ask these brothers what they gonna do if they know I'm in the name of righteousness and somebody run up on me. Duck. You better duck. It's a blood oath to our ancestors. But Islam ain't relevant, and we showed you we do that. But it ain't relevant with these weak-ass men coming from between the legs of our mothers who need training and discipline and respect and honor. But Islam ain't relevant. I ain't even touching the historical origins of Islam yet. But it ain't relevant. Is it relevant? Is it relevant? Okay, now, let's do a few things. Let's defragment the historical origins of Islam. First, y'all told us it was from Arabs. Then when we checked that, y'all say, well, it don't matter if black people had to steal a slave. That just kept running. Everyone just keep running. Here we have it, the first Europeans who encounter these Muslims, whom they call Saracens, telling us, Charlemagne, one of the most vicious European kings in history, telling us what they look like. They messed up the geography of Islam. You think that Muhammad was from Mecca. Mecca didn't even exist at that time. We got the proof. Look at what they said about them. Hoarders blacker than the blackest ink, no shred of white on them except their teeth. Damn, that's real black. I don't think white people are going to lie about how black these Saracens were. And Saracens was the name they gave for Muslims. Why would they lie? Then they made pictures of it. They said, man, we got to paint this. Look at these niggas black. So at the Battle of Roncesvalles, they showed the Europeans going against these Muslim Saracens. They gave visuals. So don't never come back and tell me that the Saracens, the original Muslims, were Arabs. Well, brother, Wesley Muhammad said they was black Arabs. That's okay. We're going to correct our brother. We're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. He's doing the best that he can. Everybody going to need some correction. Look, this is Saladin with the shield of Muhammad. 20 minutes. Saladin with the shield of Muhammad. Even Saladin knew the history. All right. So look at this black power statement. You know the world ran by Sasanians and Romans who are white, Persians and Romans. You create a doctrine, and Polight said the Quran don't teach you who the original man is. That's one of the lessons. God damn. Here's Adam right here, and certainly we kalakna, formed insana, human beings from Sazalin Nihama Masnoon, from an illuminating black substance. The original man is a black man. So if the original man is a black man and he's a Muslim, how did you get white Muslims? That's a question that people are going to have to ask. But you can't never go to the Quran and say it's an anti-black book until you read what's up there in the original language. And you tell me Sazalin Mihama Masnoon don't mean radiantly black. I'll blitz you with encyclopedias. And if you say, well, Elijah Muhammad taught that the Adamic race was white. No, he didn't. He elaborated on the mythology of using the term Adam. And this is what he said. Allah, the God of righteousness, will create one from the same soil, black, who shall rule the people with justice and righteousness. This one is referred to as the second Adam, in whom all will live. He was using the construct of what's written in the Quran to show what our people were doing in the past and what he was doing. I'm going to make man and woman. Khalif. So what does Islam teach? It teaches men to be maintainers of their women. For men to be chaste, men and women to be chaste and civilized. To eat the diet of living foods. To honor your creator and your ancestors. To shape a society based on natural law. And to be a part of Islam, you must be from the original lineage, Hamma Masnoon. Not from the devils, Zircon, Shaitan, and Kiradat. Zircon means pale. Shaitan is the name that we gave to white people in the Quran. Literally. And Kiradu were the people who were cursed as monkeys. And that's where white people come from. White people are from monkeys. They're not from your ancestors. I know you do. But if the Quran can elaborate better than you on the outer Africa theory, what the hell are you talking about? It's not relevant. The Quran is going to tell you that they're from monkeys. You're telling me that they're from our ancestors. White people don't even have the same gene codes as you. Damn, go get one of those Hindi lectures. He's been doing this stuff for 2 years. Why we got to keep arguing about dumb stuff? Get the DVD. We already proved that. But Islam is irrelevant and it's checking all of your black scholars who said that we came from Australopithecus afarensis. And they're following who? Charles Darwin? And his cousin Francis Galton with eugenics and the evolution theory? That we evolved from monkeys and white people evolved from us? Therefore they're the crown of creation? That's what you're going to use? But Islam is irrelevant. Wait, let's go back. Let's keep going. The propaganda that Islam enslaves women. We already went over that, Polight. To beat your women. We wrote this book, 400 pages. Challenge me. I got all the ayahs in here. Challenge me. Write a rebuttal. I showed you what the Arabs are doing to this book. That Islam was founded by Arabs. False. That men can marry underage women or orphans. False. That Muslims enslaved Africans. False. All of this stuff. I ain't even got to go through that. Let's get to the point. The Quran. Is it from or inspired by someone who was inspired by the Creator? It says, we will show them our signs in the universe and inside themselves until it will become quite clear to them that is the truth. It is not sufficient as regards to your Lord that he is a witness over all things. Now, Copernicus, when he came along, said, wait a minute, the church is wrong. The earth is actually going around the sun. But one thing that Copernicus did not know was that the sun was moving. He didn't teach that in his Renaissance theories. What was Copernicus studying? How is it that the African Muslims could tell that the sun and the moon and the earth were all following orbital paths? How did they know that if they didn't have the technical instruments, allegedly? How is it that the word for day occurs in the Quran 365 times? How is it that the word for month occurs 12 times? How is it that Muslims were able to chart what's called the Manzil system, which is actually the system that is the most sophisticated mathematical system that's even up in your satellites right now, so that satellites will know where they're at in GPS coordination according to the earth? But Islam ain't relevant. And the world is flat, but we said that the world was egg-shaped. How do we know that the earth had an equatorial budge if we had never been off of it? Huh? How were the Muslims able to tell the stages of development of a zygote all the way up from the genesis to the birth of a child and describe them in each stage in the Quran if they never had went in and done no ultrasounds or MRIs? I know how, do you? But Islam ain't relevant? You gonna shoot that down? Huh? If you looked at an MRI, you wouldn't know what you was looking at. But you're gonna challenge Muhammad, he wrote it. And he's irrelevant, but you are relevant? Listen. Let's go. How much time? 13 minutes. How is it that the Muslims could describe the basis of photosynthesis as a chemical process without microscopes? This is the 36th surah of the Quran, the one who made for you Al-Nadi. I can't even show it. Point, I ain't got no point. Al-Nadi. From the green of the tree. The green is chlorophyll. Al-Nadi is the process by which photons impede the neutrons of each one of those atoms and create what's called nuclear resonance and produce electricity in the plant. Damn! How did they know it if Islam is irrelevant? Processes that took Europeans up into the damn near 19th century to figure out. African Muslims knew it and wrote about it. But you don't know it because you can't read it in your own language. And you think all Muslims on the planet are dumb. Because you don't travel. But it's Muslims on this planet that are brilliant who know their African genesis. And they can get up here and talk all night about wisdom to you. But yet we're irrelevant. Here in the Quran, you have the Quran prescribing dates to Mary when she was in labor and telling her to be around the sound and in water, and it's dates that release oxytocin in order to reduce the pain in labor. Huh? How did they know that the dates would have that chemical effect on the brain? This is supposed to be modern science. How did they know? How did they know? How did they know to give 114 surahs, which equal the most stable proton or atom on the planet, where you can only get 114 protons inside of an atom. And here's the atom right here. Flerovium was reported informally in January of 1999 following experiments towards the end of December 1998 involving scientists at Dubna Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Russia. Let's keep going. I got one for you. How did the Muslims know in Surah 65:12 that there were 7 energy fields and 7 material fields to the portals of an atom? And describe it. Allah created the 7 samawati. Samawati is said to be the heavens. But then it says He also created the 7 al-ar, or material, or earths. Now we know there's not 7 earths and 7 heavens. And if you think they're talking about some planetary forces, I'll show you later that they weren't. So now we have Muslims describing atoms inside of the Quran and what's in them and the levels of energy fields in them. Saying that the Creator encompasses all knowledge. Allah created the 7 samawati and 7 al-ar. Allah's law moves between them, that you may know that Allah has power over all things and that Allah has encompassed all things within His awareness. That means nobody escapes my eye. Huh? If we are in this condition today, it's because we didn't do something or we did something. Follow. The word iron, which is the 26th element in the periodic table that is necessary in order to have organic life on the earth, that is produced when a star is dying, and when that star is dying, it's released from that star and inhabits through meteors and other means the planets and the orbs that are around them. How was it that the Muslims were wise enough to use gematria and put it in the 26th verse? And the word Hadid, H-Y-D-Y-D, equals 26. The 26th atom on the periodic table. And you get the most stable iron isotope in creation that has 31 electrons and 26 protons, which equals 57, and the name of the surah Al-Hadid equals 57. And the word in gematria equals 57. And why was it that Muslims were able to use that science and metallurgy to become the most ferocious military on the planet? Through iron ore chemistry. Because we had always had that in Africa. We've been had it. But Islam is irrelevant. How much time I got? 8 minutes. Good. I need it. Now, here's some white people, and this is important. Most people who comment on Islam say that the Quran was written down over a period of 23 years, and Muhammad memorized it, and he had 4 caliphs who came after him who collected the book, and there was some book burning and some other. That's a bullshit story from Arabs. If you want to know the first Qurans, you have to be in Egypt and know that they were first written on papyruses. And these white people right here, this is one of the scholars, are telling you what was the origin of Islam and what went on at the dawn of Islamic history. In the past, scholars who wanted to research the subject had to rely on the official Islamic version of events, which was only written down about 200 years after Muhammad's death by pale Arabs. Only relatively recently has interest grown in the more objective but less accessible sources such as coins, inscriptions, and texts written on papyrus. Petra Sijpestigen, professor of Arabic language and culture at Leiden University, said that this last source is especially important. The papyri are in fact the only contemporary source for the first 200 years of Islamic history. So I want you to go through all your Islamic scholars in America and tell me which one of them are telling you that the Quran was written in papyrus in Egypt first. Zero, except for the brother that's standing on this stage. They don't know. I can show you the papyrus. They're online. Wait. This brother has a book. I have it here. I'll bring it back out. The book is $450. It's called Arabic Papyri. Ain't growing. And what did he say? He dealt fully with these written materials amongst the Arabs, citing numerous Arabic sources which prove that Arabic literature abounds in references to the papyrus plant, its different parts, and its rich and varied uses. Roman points out that while it is in itself not possible that the papyrus plant grew or still grows in parts of Arabia, its presence there has to date not been proved. There are no papyruses in Arabia. So how are they writing Quranic scripts on over 18,000 manuscripts in papyrus when the only place the plant grows is in the Nile, Nilotic Sudan in Egypt? Because the Muslims wasn't from Mecca or Medina, it was from the Thebaid in the Nilotic Sudan in Egypt. And this proves it. So white people took away your black Islam and they displaced it to a whole nother peninsula. And we trace each one of them, or each one of their actions. Last point, because I'm running out of time. What's going on here? Last point. What's going on? It's a close-up. All right? I don't want to talk about him. This book gives over 120 counts of people mentioning Muhammad. People ask the question, did Muhammad even exist? Because if the Arabs are going to talk about him, and that's the only sources, and nobody else is talking about him, he didn't exist. But there's over 120 sources in non-papyri and over 35 sources in papyri that discuss Muhammad and discuss the Quran. And what did they say about the Saracens? At the trial of Maximus, the confessor, in May 655, it was revealed by John, who had been treasurer to Peter, the former general of Numidia, that 22 years ago, the grandfather of the emperor of Byzantine, Rome, asked to bless Peter to take an army and lead it into Egypt against the Saracens. Why would they be going into Egypt to get the Muslims if they weren't even there? If they were supposed to be in Mecca and Medina? Hold on. So look at this. This is a map showing two groups, the Novaci, the Blennies, who were the people who we're calling the Copts today. And I want to show you that in the papyri, the Saracens, the Novaci, and the Blennies are all allies against the Byzantines. This is the first Islamic ruler in Egypt who starts it off in the name of Allah. And he's telling the people that he's in Heracleopolis, which is in Egypt, and he needs taxes for the maintenance of the Saracens who are with me in Egypt. These are the first Islamic documents. There was no talk about Mecca and Medina. Hold on. Keep going. How much time I got?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. These are papyri complaining that the Saracens, the Blennies, and the Nobades are barbarians that are attacking some of the Byzantines. Now, if they were in Africa, and the Byzantine Empire has spread into that part of Africa, what are these Muslims doing there, fighting against the Byzantines, and there's no mention of Muhammad. Nobody named Muhammad is around yet. Hold on. I gotta get to my main point to close. I'll come back to this. So, in the Quran, it says that the Arabs are the strongest in disbelief and hypocrisy and most disposed to not be truly aware of the laws of what Allah has revealed to his messenger. If the book was from Arabs, and Muhammad wasn't there, why would this be there? Explain. Polight. I know they're slaves. Yeah, it don't matter if they're black because they're still enslaved. I'm going to get to you on the counter on that. Be careful though, I got a mean hook. I'm just waiting on you. How much time? 1 minute?
Yeah, 2 minutes regular, 3 minutes.
Okay, bye. This book has a whole bunch of stuff in it. So. Now, the ancients had a fascination with melanin. Here you have King Tut being depicted as black and Assad being depicted as green. Do you know why? Based on science? What does green and black have to do with melanin? The black is carbon. The green is copper. The two components that's necessary for a melanosome to aggregate itself into melanosomes where you have where you have melanin-stimulating hormone secreted from the pituitary gland through the lymphatic vessels in the blood to each cell to stimulate that carbon to combust. Fascination with blackness. So here you have it in Egypt. Go back. Got something going on here. Here you have it in the Quran. The same fascination with blackness as a form of nobility. So why are you idiotically banging on me when we are equal? And brothers and sisters from the same blood. And if Islam stands for black nobility and divinity and blackness, how come you don't know it and you're banging on it as if you do know? Before Garvey was teaching race first, Muhammad was. Check. Check. I know. Then white people give you these books that cost $1,500 and they don't have melanin and they're studying melanin. Oh, all people have melanin. Go read the books. Go read the books. That's not what they call it. White people tell you in the books that they don't have melanin. Nor do they have the hormones to stimulate it. Then they're telling you we have what? Biological roles and biomedical applications.
3 minute grace.
So the biomedical applications is how we're going to shut down your melanin and steal it from you. So Celgene, Life Bank USA, they make billions of dollars. Fortune 500 companies are making money off of your placentas because you don't know how much that blackness is worth. But yet you have a book from 1400 years telling you how much it's worth and it's irrelevant. So, did Muhammad exist? We found where Muhammad was. Muhammad was, for all practical purposes, an Egyptian. A black man from the Nile Sudan named Abdel Malik, who was the first one to use the name Muhammad on anything. Before there was any hadith, before there were any pale Arabs mentioning anything, he was making papyruses in Egypt with his name on it and coinage. And obliterating the usurious actions of the Romans and the Byzantines. And the Muslims spread throughout Africa because the system was already there. Not in name, but in function. And it was an upheaval against white people. And it worked. So what is New Covenant going to do? What is ISIS going to do? What is House of Consciousness going to do? Are we going to shit on our ancestors who prove that they know how to work together? When it took us 50 minutes to get an agreement about a little small thing in the back? And we're gonna say that Islam ain't relevant? I hope you come up here and say something worth something. Because the rest of my presentation is heavy. That was light work. So I'm like,
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna ask for your cooperation. Can we get everybody seated, please? I'm about to work. Let's get everybody in their seats, please.
Yeah, wait till they sit down, man. It's such an entertainer.
Wait. Ready? This piece I call right here. This piece I call here is you never know what he might say next. Ali featuring Ali Muhammad. Dr. Ali Muhammad. People might start thinking you're a fraud.
Yo.
With that doctor there. Let's go.
There's stuff to do to read all these goddamn books. You think I'm sitting up here reading all this stuff? I buy it. I got access to it. I buy it. I got access to it. There's too much stuff to do to read all these goddamn books. You think I'm sitting here reading all this stuff? I buy it. I buy it. I buy it. I got too much stuff to do to read all these goddamn books.
Hey, start it over. Start it over. Because he just was on the stage bragging about Start it over. He was just on the stage bragging about how he spends thousands of dollars on his books. Pause it. He was just here saying how much money he spends on books. Is this correct? Yeah. Okay, so is that some real talk? All right, let me just say. All right, so hold on. We're gonna come with the bullshit now. Play this back. Play this back. Make sure the volume is good.
Stuff to do to read all these goddamn books. You think I'm sitting up here reading all this stuff? I buy it. I got access to it. I buy it. I got access to it. I got too much stuff to do to read all these goddamn books. You think I'm sitting up here reading all this stuff? I buy it. I buy it. I buy it. I got too much stuff to do to read all these goddamn books. You think I'm sitting up here reading all this stuff? My wife don't even know where I live.
Was that some bullshit right there? Alright, it was some BS. Alright, just making sure. So he spends all this money on books, but then he asks you, do you think I got the time to read all these books? Look at the eyes, man. My wives don't even know where I live. How does that work? Only in Islam. Is that some BS? Alright, just making sure. The consensus is in, it's BS. It's all one blue sign. Must be a relative. There we go. I'm going to show you something historically. This is the first time someone created their debate rebuttal as the person was talking. That's why it went in like that. When you watch this, I've rebutted everything he actually taught, because he spent the first 22 minutes not really going into the subject matter, and I'm going to go through that. I actually created my rebuttal as he was talking. That's what I was doing over there. Look how quick I am. Let's go to the next one. It's the first time this happened. I am younger than you. That means my mind is faster, brother. Q, real talk? I like. QTL, trilateral rule. He said, Polight, it don't mean fight. It mean war. When I was up here, I said, it implies death or something malignant. Some people may translate it as fight. You know what he says? It means war. Do you speak Arabic? Now, what happens when people go to war? Do they die? Can someone possibly die? Because that's exactly what I said it meant. So I made sure I put that there. We watch too much debates where people actually don't rebut. You're not going to see it today. I learned. You're going to learn today. Is that some real talk? All right, now. Mushrooms. I have to rebut the shit he was saying, even though it has nothing to do with the debate. There's something called Jean mushrooms that help cure me of my diabetes. So all the slander about the mushrooms, cut it out. I'm trying my best to rebut it. Some of this may not make sense, but you never know what Mr. Muhammad might say. So we're going to go to the next one. He says, I said something. No, go back. He says that I said we are turning or evolving into females and the women vice versa. I'm paraphrasing what he said that I said that. He said it's on camera, but he chose to write. I said that comes from a dialogue I was having about homosexuality, how they're putting GMOs into the food, how they're fluoridating the water, and if this shit persists, the men will in turn become women and the women will in turn become men. Real talk? That comes from a dialogue that I had. But that was cool, because what I also learned is that the better part of his presentation was when he was talking about me. The rest of his presentation went down south. In the opening round, he spent 9.5 minutes on me. And a little over 2 minutes on Dr. York. That'll give you a total of 11. It's a 15-minute round. The opening statement.
Go ahead.
I was paying attention, because you're not going to walk out here and say, yo, he did a good job. He did horrible. Real talk? Okay. All right, let me work. Is Islam relevant? He says this 20 times in the second round. Go to the next slide, baby. The subject matter today, round one, is the historical origins of Islam, not if it's just relevant, and the effects on indigenous people, good or bad. Go back again. I just wanted to show them the flyer. I'll put the flyer in there for my rebuttal. Because is it relevant when you watch the tape? Is it relevant? Islam isn't relevant? Islam isn't relevant. It's about the historical origins of Islam and retrospect to its effect on indigenous people world over good or bad. My man just read it. The moderator read it. I put the flyer up there to remind him, but it's too late. You can't respond. It's too late. Is Islam relevant 20 plus times? When you watch the tape, you see I'm no liar. Now, at 17 minutes and 12 seconds, he says, I checked in with the brother that's part of his community who we entrusted to do the time. At 17 minutes and 12 seconds, he says, I didn't even get into the subject matter yet. You'll notice this when you play the tape back. He says, the Saracens are black Muslims, but I have to remind you, he has to put that in parentheses, because whenever Muslims talk about themselves in history, they're the only ones that recorded themselves in history. There was no such thing. So if you notice, there was a parenthesis there that said black Muslims. Because historically, there's several tribes that are known as Muslims that would not be known as Muslims, only except for by way of Muslims telling the story. Real talk. Real talk. But I'm going to show you the evidence, because I'm not going to spend 17 minutes and 2 seconds and then tell you, can I get back to the, I ain't even get to the subject yet. And I'm not going to spend 9.5 minutes on him unless it's dealing with the subject matter, and I'm not going to spend an extra 2 minutes on some other thing. I'm going to give him that work. And it's already started. Real talk. He also said that the Quran teaches you about 9 months conception. How would they know that? Nigga, if you're around your mother when she's pregnant for 9 months, you would know that too. I guess some of these books are good for some people. How would they know that, he says? Are you kidding me? He said it with a straight face. He said, how would you know? Then he tells you about them going into Egypt. I would surmise if they went and took over Egypt, raided them in the 600s, little before, little after, I would surmise they will learn something after a while. How you going to invade Egypt and come out dumb? But the only thing you came out of after Egypt was 9 months conception? Is that some BS? Switch it around. Let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. And of course, this is the book you need to get. Might be able to read about 9 months conception in that book. But I mean, in this present day and time, we have the internet. We don't really need the Quran to teach us about 9 months conception. And of course, that's the book. Let's keep going forward. Because I got a lot to teach. I thought he was going to teach us how the Quran comes before the Bible. Where the Israelites at?
We're in the back.
Did you hear anything about the Quran coming first and the Bible coming after?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was you satisfied? Are you being biased? Did he make a lot of claims about religion in those weigh-ins and on the streets and in the interviews and amongst y'all? And did you see him show up? No. Today we're going on the historical origins of Islam. Come on, let's go. Let's move forward, boo. This is going to be the best rebuttal you've ever seen in your life. I was doing all of this on the side. When he was so, hey, talk to me, Polight, talk to me, please. I was over here working. All I have to do is just outdo him in what he taught. I've already beat him. He ain't started until 17 minutes and 2 seconds. I've already beat him. And I killed him on the mushroom shit, whatever that got to do with anything. And the women evolving into men and all, whatever that got to do with the historical origins of Islam. And the Dr. York, whether he plead guilty or not, whatever that got to do with Islam. My goodness. He said it with conviction. So, some things I want you to take into consideration. I have to actually teach at this particular moment in time. West Syria equals Romans and Byzantines. I need y'all to take these things into consideration so the rest of my presentation can just flow. Whatever you don't catch is recorded, and my brother Ali Muhammad will make sure that you get you a copy after this, before he edits it. So East Syria, you need to know, corresponds to the Sassanian, Greek, Parthian, and Persians. When we talk about the Christian doctrine, we need to know that the Christian doctrine was heavily propagated during the 1st century, particularly in Edessa, Upper Mesopotamia, near Haran. We're talking around the Turkey area. Okay, you need to know these things. Syria during the 3rd and 4th centuries were undergoing a split among the East. I want you to notice how the dates grow larger and larger as I go. I'm doing my best to give you as much as I can give you in a small amount of time. Syria during the 3rd and 4th centuries were undergoing a split amongst the East and the West. I told you that. Ephesus and Chalda in 431 and 451 AD, Syria was divided between the East and the West on account to a monophysite Trinitarian doctrine. They believed that Mary was God, or the daughter of God, or mother of God, and they also believed in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Trinitarian doctrine, this had created a subject divide that in turn created 2 major factions in the Mesopotamia and also in the eastern region. I'm going to teach you. You should walk out of here with some information. Okay, somebody do me a favor, bring those books that's over there laid out. So these are the things that happen, and it's going to make you better. Take it in your chin, son. Yeah, that's why we need elders, real talk. That's why we need elders in here. They're nice, they let you down. The Quran was formulated 60 plus years after Prophet Muhammad's death. Prophet Muhammad, born in 570 AD as they foretell, commences his mission 610 AD and dies in 632 AD. He's mad at all these things, but he never approves anything he's saying. He'll tell you, no, that word means war. But you know what he told you before that, which was slick when he played tape back? And I'm going to give you my translation. He started out talking about a female that did it, and then he did that to us, and now I'm going to tell you my translation, because I know everything. I'm the only one with double albums galore. In 3 different languages, still selling all over the world. And you're right, I did make a language for our community, because if we're going to say we're serious about sovereignty, we cannot be speaking the language that reflects our oppression and colonization. If you about nationality, you'll come up with your language too, something that y'all can call your own, that no one else can tell you if you're saying it wrong or not. So I don't want to argue with Negroes no more about if I'm saying something right or wrong about a language neither you or I was around when it first was created. I was around for my language. So we make the rules in our language. The hell with all the other languages. Real talk? He got out slick, boy. Wasn't prepared from the gate. Arabic was not a written language when the Quran was even conveyed. Say that? Arabic was not a written language when the Quran was even revealed. Yet the Quran speaks about Arabic. It's constantly saying that the Quran is revealed in Arabic. I will go over there. I'll elaborate later. Okay, that's what I will elaborate later. Syriac was the lingua franca before, during, and after Muhammad's death. I'm going to go into what lingua franca is coming up. Syriac was the lingua franca before, during, and after Muhammad's death. 632 until Abd al-Malik enforced Arabic as the main language and implemented diacritical marks. Move forward. Ibn Ishaq and the Hadith biographical sketches of Muhammad are 2 centuries late, almost 200 years later, for us to find out the biographical content of a prophet. Someone 200 years later comes up with the information. Nothing in between that time. This is very weird and very suspicious when you do the research. Ibn Ishaq and the Hadith. And also, aside from him, because he professed to know it all, aside from him and whatever brand of Islam he's creating over there, all other Muslims can honestly tell you about 1/4 or 1/5 of the Quran they do not understand. Their answer most times is, Allah revealed in such a pristine state of the language, we're still trying to comprehend it today. You ask any other Muslim on planet Earth, with the exception of him, because he knows it all, he knows how everyone is making mistakes in Islam, but ask any other Muslim for verification. You can get empirical data. You don't always have to read a book. You can go talk to somebody, and they'll tell you 1/4 or 1/5 of the Quran they're having problems understanding, and there's an answer for that. Okay? So I'll give you some sources. We haven't heard that word for over 40 minutes. So we have The Hidden Origins of Islam, edited by Carl Heinz Olig and Jordan R. Quinn, and Words, Texts, and Concepts, Cruising the Mediterranean. Those books are over here. Got a bunch of them. I'll just ask somebody to hold them up when the time comes. It's a very good book. We're going to go to this one. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Unlike him, I just don't purchase books to not read them because it comes to me anyway. Go to the next one. Some people are just weird. According to the unpublished writings of Abbot Jared Crawford, PhD, MSJ, Western Rite Syrian Orthodox Church in America, and F.R. Michael Reese, ND DCP, the Khabbaris Codex of the Assyrians conveyed in Syriac was written in approximately 165 AD, 2nd century, due to carbon dating 1, but that's not the only thing, and the bookmark specificity, because when the purported prophets or the ancient scribes at that time write something, they leave a bookmarker with the date and time that they put it in there. This is true. Anybody in scholarship can confirm this. So, because of bookmark specificity of the scribe that rewrote it. Also, we're dealing with this newspaper article. The U.S. Library gets an ancient Bible, oldest known copy of New Testament to go on view in Washington, April 5th. Of course, the people at that time did not call it the Bible. Let me make that clear. So he doesn't say, there was no Bible at that time. Of course, there was no Bible. They didn't call it a Bible. But this is what they're talking about, and this is what they call it today. Just to make it clear. The above image is from a New York Times newspaper released on March 26, 1955. It was brought to the White House when President Eisenhower was in office. It was insured for $1.5 million. Made of doe skin. Because in a way, he needs to know what kind of skin is there, because he thinks Muslims are the only one with paper. And he doesn't say they created it. He says they reinvented it after Egypt did it. Just give Egypt their credit. They're going to reinvent it while the people still alive. Tatian created a 2nd century 167 gospel harmony after the Peshitta. The Peshitta is the New Testament that they found that dates back to 165, just to make it clear. Okay, so Tatian created a 2nd century rendition that harmonizes. It rhymes, it's a hymn. Okay, and it's called the Peshitta, which means clear and Syriac. Syriac. And St. James generated the 4th century Vulgate Peshitta. So in the 4th century, a facsimile of the same was created after the one that was created after the oldest one of that time. Okay, and that's called the Vulgate Peshitta. I got my Peshitta on me too. Because contrary to what most people believe, they believe that the good book, the New Testament, was revealed in Greek. No, it wasn't. It was revealed in Syriac. Okay? So we get this Aramaic Peshitta of the New Testament, vertical interlinear volume by Janet M. Majera, Light of the World Ministry. It's a good book, word for word translation. Let's go to the next one. And of course I have the concordance with me, just to double check the words, because a true scholar wouldn't want to just double check. I don't know if he has a Peshitta, but whenever I talk to a Muslim, they say, you gotta know the Arabic. You gotta know the Syriac. You see, we're gonna teach you about this. You cannot talk about the Quran and try to give me the whole Arabic story. You have to know Syrian in order to understand the Quran. Well, we're going to figure this out. So here's my fellow logical perusal. In order for us to properly investigate this matter, this is my 6-point program that I created to tell if a religion qualifies or is authenticated. 1, we have to deal with the dialect continuum. 2, we have to deal with mutual intelligibility. 3, we have to deal with asymmetrical mutual intelligibility. 4, we have to deal with the lingua franca. 5, we have to deal with the harmonious morphological code. And 6, we have to deal with the syntactic analysis. I'm going to go over all of them again one more time and do it real fast because it's being recorded, and I want to cover as much as ground as possible so you can say I learned a hell of a lot more with the young man there than the 39-year-old brother. This is my point. I'm good. So, thank you, brother. So the dialect continuum, depending on the point of reference where you're at of study and how far you go from that point of reference, people are speaking relatively the same language. There's a mutual intelligibility, meaning even if I am speaking a different dialect from him, we will be able to still have correspondence audibly without it being misconstrued. The communication will go uncompromised. That's mutual intelligibility when you're dealing with that which is in the confines of a dialect continuum, because there's several dialects going around when we're talking about Mesopotamia and the Middle East. So now we got to keep going. Now we can keep going. So now we're talking about asymmetrical mutual intelligibility. What is asymmetrical mutual intelligibility? That's when you go a little bit further. You go a little bit further away, and now only one of you can understand the other. That's called asymmetrical mutual intelligibility. So I might be speaking, he gets me, I don't get him. If any of you are not from Jamaica, and you ever heard a Jamaican go in, or you hear a person that's from Barbados, and he's watching soccer, and he might say, I ain't gonna know me, you may say, Polight, what the hell did you just say? Because I got Bajans in my family. And they go, little media, too. You know what I'm saying? You'll start hearing weird stuff like that come out my mouth. And you'll start saying, I don't really know what he said, even though we're both speaking English, because now I can understand you, but you can't understand me. And that's called asymmetrical mutual intelligibility within the confines of a dialect continuum. When this happens, you have to have one common language that everybody can deal with, because they have to exchange goods, they have to engage in commerce, they have to vote people into office. So you can't have an uncommon language amongst all the nations. You have to have one common language, and this is called the lingua franca. Okay? You need a lingua franca to engage in commerce, so people, no matter where they're coming from, they can still interface on a higher scale as humanity. In commerce, the lingua franca for commerce is the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC. In science, my brother was a teacher, is a teacher still. In science, the universal language, or the lingua franca for science, is Latin. All those words are going to trace back to Latin. That's for a reason, not by accident, so people from every part of the world in uniformity can go to the same language for that particular art form or frequency of thought. Now you have what's called the syntactic analysis. We have to go through this. Why? Because the way you understand things here contrasts the way people understand things there. What do I mean by that? If a Chinese man was standing here and I said, man, come on, homie, you know what time it is. And the Chinese man was here, he wouldn't gesture to look for his watch and say, yo, it's 3:30. But the Chinese man would. That's called syntax. You have to actually be inside the culture sometimes to understand the terminologies. Otherwise, in your Western thinking, there may be huge misconceptions and misunderstandings. I'll give you an example now. When I say the word Muhammad, or I say the word Allah, you are likely to think of what religion, or what? Islam. Islam. 1400 years ago, I would have thought you was Christian. Oh, I'm going to prove this. Because you see, in the Christian scriptures, they use Allah over 500 times to communicate to God in the New Testament. Wow. In the Peshitta, you'll see Allah there every time they pray to God. I was hoping he was going to take some serious time out to show us the Quran's first. But it's all good. The historical origins of Islam, so let it be. And you must learn that Prophet Muhammad, 1400 years ago, 1400 years later, we see it as an appellation, a name attributed to somebody. Muhammad is a gerundable participle. What does gerundable participle being used as an adjective? So Muhammad is is one who's worthy of praise. It was never taken out of context to mean someone's name. So anyone that did something that was worthy of praise was considered to be a Muhammad, not someone of Islam. So no matter where you find the word Muhammad in those lands, doesn't necessarily mean that you are talking about an actual person in particular associated with the exclusivity of Islam. No, 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 no. It's a gerundable participle, and it means it's a verb being used through the persuasion of the adjective. It announces that you must do something when you bear witness. Yeah, we have to go into language, you're right, but you're going into the wrong language to deal with the historicity of Islam. Go to the next one. So now we got to fly through this. Because Muslims are really Christians on the down low. And the Christians oppressed us. You must know this. You know about the Vatican, right? And how they funded slavery. You do know that much, right? Okay, the Quran is not a Muslim corpus. The word Quran is a loan word as well as a harmonious morphological code. I didn't go over that. What is a harmonious morphological code? Once I do this, then I can run through everything. A harmonious morphological code. Let's start off with a homophone. Homophones are words that are spelled alike or ideally the same, but take on a different definition. When people are creating a new language or a new doctrine and they don't have a language and they're writing it Kashuni is what the Arabs had to do that are claiming Muslim or Islam today. Kashuni is when you write a language with a non-corresponding script. If you write the word Kashuni, all you're going to see is Arabs in Islam. Because they didn't even have a written language, so they had to borrow the Christians' letters to interpret their ideas. And if you do that, eventually you're going to start changing the word to make it look like the way you want it, because that's called transliteration. Y'all really gonna get this if you ain't got it when you watch this tape, I'm telling you. But I know you get it, because unlike him, I don't think everyone in here is stupid. He speaks so very condescending to his brothers and sisters sometimes. But it's a harmonious morphological code. So harmonious morphological code means that it's a word spelled the same way or almost identically the same as it's brought into a new language, but then it undergoes a morphosis in its meaning. And then you may even start creating a new designation for phonemes. A phoneme is a unit of measure for a letter in terms of tone. So the letter B's phoneme would be B. A phoneme for D would be D. When you change the designation of the phoneme, now you're adding in a coke, like when you fill it in the hole. Because at this point you completely took over the word, and that part of it, when you change the spelling, is called orthography. So not only is the word Muhammad a harmonious morphological code, which is also a gerundable participle, it is also part of the biggest misconception ever told to us, as we are 1,400 years after the fact, not doing a syntactic analysis on the information. The word Quran in Syria, 1,400 years ago, where the Arabs existed, there was no such thing as a Muslim. Show me the record. Today they call them Muslims and they put them in parentheses like my brother did. Black Muslims. Show me the records. I say that boldly, you know, because I know there's no Muslims, they were Christians. And guess what Quran means in Christian tongue? In Syriac, Quran is pronounced Qur'an. Qur'an. Hey, look at that. That's Syriac. Syriac. Qur'an. What does Quran mean? Quran means lectionary. What does lectionary mean? A lectionary are extracts from the Bible to be used for religious instruction. The word Quran means religious instruction for Christians. Lectionary is the word that adds up to that whole meaning. The word Quran means Bible lessons. Real talk. Who would have thought some of you had confidence in this thing? You gotta start reading those books that you just let come to you after you buy them. The word Quran in Syriac means lectionary. Here, according to the dictionary definition in Merriam-Webster's, there's a list of book of portions of the Bible appointed to be read at a church service. All you have to do is go into any Syriac text written before Prophet Muhammad's time, and you'll know anytime someone said they was reading the Quran, they would have been thinking about Bible lessons. We're going to go forward, because this ain't enough. I can't just give you one word. Like, he'll go to Egypt and take one word off the wall in Egypt and tell you, I got some pamphlets, I'm going to show you, I got this in the book. No, it's right up here. I made sure I brought the information to you. This is the reason we came here today. Don't come empty-handed. Go on. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to have to catch rep. I'm going to move fast. Woo! I got to move fast. So we're going to go ahead. And if we had made it a non-Arabic Quran, they would have said, why are his verses not explained in detail? This is from, okay, this is a quote for the Quran. I'm going to have to run through this real fast. The point is, anytime you see the word Quran in the Bible, pardon me, Quran is the Bible. Anytime you see the word Quran, in the Quran, they're talking about Christian lessons. And here, Allah is basically saying, if I would have gave you these Bible lessons knowing that you people were not following the Bible, you would have asked me how come I didn't put it in Arabic. But you see, what Arabs do is say, Allah gave us Arabic, and He asked everybody else, why didn't we send it to you in Arabic? It's very weird thinking how we misinterpret it. And then I'll show you here, Muhammad and Jesus, Abd-al-Malik. Abd-al-Malik was considered a Muhammad of his time. Okay, this is one of the rulers of the Umayyad dynasty. Okay, and then you have also, so Muhammad was known in Mecca, and Mecca was the inception of Prophet Muhammad, mission 622. Abd-al-Malik was born in Mecca. Muhammad was sent by Allah, Jesus was sent by Allah. Muhammad, bloodline of David, Jesus of the bloodline of David. Muhammad invaded Medina with a 12,000 strong Syrian army, of which 10,000 died. Abd-al-Malik invaded Medina with a 12,000 strong Syrian army, of which 10,000 died. Muhammad received a Quran in Mecca and Medina. Okay, Abd-al-Malik was born in Mecca, raised in Medina. Abd-al-Malik created the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, celebrated the ascent of Prophet Muhammad. Jesus has been said to ascend right where the Dome of the Rock resides that Abd-al-Malik created. Point is, Muhammad was not an appellation. Anyone who did something that was worthy of praise, such as Jesus was known as Muhammad, and so was Abd-al-Malik. I will prove it to you, because I will not just give you 1.9,000 years ago, come back 800 years later, and then go forward 2,000 more. I'm not all over the place with my research. We got to do this chronologically so you can know what I'm saying is true. Go to the next one. And I'm going to teach until this whole thing is exhausted. Now, let's look at the Byzantine Empire's currency. And they have Muhammad written on one side of their coin and crosses on the other side. Why would Muslims have crosses on their money? And why would Christians have Muhammad on theirs? And the Byzantine coin is 647 to 658. You can look it up. Muhammad on one side and crosses on the other. Why would Muhammad cross? Do you know in the Hadith it says that Prophet Muhammad is going to come back and break all the crosses? This is a slaughter. You let them boys gas you up too much in your community. See, if you came to college, we'd put you down and say, yo, don't fuck with Polight. Let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. I'm going to move faster because I sat here and did this. I swear to you, I sat here and created this. I said, that's all? It's going to be light work. Look at all these verses where Allah is used in the Christian text. That's not all of them. It's probably a little over 100. But these are all verses. You're going to see the word Allah in the Christian's text. They worship Allah. And they identify Jesus as Muhammad. Because he was one worthy of praise, because it's a gerundable participle. It is an epithet. It is a harmonious morphological code. But it's not a name of somebody attributed or credited to the mission of Islam. Here are a few chapters and verses where Allah is called on by Christians. Okay? Because it's called the Quran. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. We gotta move, we gotta move. So the Christians have a morning prayer. The Muslims call it Salatul Fajr. But guess what? The Christians had one too. So, in Sahih International 1778, this is Surah, established prayer at the decline of the sun from its meridian into the darkness of the night, and also the Quran of dawn. Indeed, the recitation of dawn is ever witnessed. So they tell you to undergo the recitation. What I want you to realize here is the way that this is translated. You see the word Quran here for Quran of dawn, but then you see indeed the recitation of dawn is ever witnessed. This is also the word Quran. I put it right here. Okay? So you got Quran right here. Quran, the Fajr. This means the Bible lessons at dawn. This is inside of this verse right here from 1778. You see, no matter what he says to try to rebut or debunk what I'm saying about Arabic, I actually put it up there so you can do the research. Some people don't care. They just say whatever the hell they say for the sake of just staying alive. We're going to move forward, man. Oh, carry on. which means to teach those Christian lessons at dawn. The Christians had a Salatul Fajr before the Muslims had a morning prayer. And that's where they got it from, but it gets deeper. You're going to love this next one. Let's go to the next one. Historical origins of Islam. I told you the effects it has. I got more effects. I hope I have the time. Sahih 56:22-37. I'm going to read this to you real fast. And for them are fair women. Notice I highlighted fair women. Very important. This is a Quranic translation. With large, beautiful eyes, the likeness of pearls well protected, as reward for what they used to do. They will not hear therein our speech or commission of sin. I need to tell you that this is a description of what takes place in heaven that they call paradise, which is Jannah in Arabic. I need you to take the time out and realize that throughout this whole thing, you're going to be hearing nothing but fruits, and then you get a promise of virgin women out of nowhere, because that is a mistranslation. 5 minutes. But we're going to keep going. So, the companions of the night, what are the companions of the night? They will be among low trees with the thorns removed, and banana trees laden with fruit, and the shade extended, and the water poured out, and the fruit abundant and varied, neither limited to season nor forbidden, and beds raised high. Indeed, we have produced the woman of paradise in a new creation and made them virgins, devoted to their husbands and of equal age. Okay, so they talk about fruit and they talk about bananas, and these are things you're going to get in heaven, and suddenly you get a virgin woman in paradise that misses all these fruits. But if we go from the book where they got their words from that they didn't understand, and when new diacritical marks were implemented on the language by Abdelmalik, they changed the frequency of the word, thus rendering it a harmonious morphological code. What were these words prior? Whenever you're in the Quran and you don't understand the word in the Quran, all you have to do is go back to the Syriac language, and then you can get the proper interpretation. So we go to the Syriac language. We find that the word for paradise or heaven in the Quran, and I got some verses here that talk about the virgins in paradise. When you go into the Christian language, Jannah, same word. The word they use for paradise is grapevine. Mind you, this whole Arabic verse was talking about fruit, and then all of a sudden, you get virgin women in paradise. But what is the word they're using for fair women? If you go to the Syriac, the word they're using for virgin or fair is hor. But if you go to Syriac, the word is hor. But hor means grapes. So if you was to plug in, you get grapes here, and you plug in paradise as a grapevine, it would match with the fruit and the bananas that God is promising you in heaven. Or we could just think that if a nigga dies a Muslim martyr, he's going to be promised sending to virgin women, only to find out it's grapes. Is that BS? Is that some BS? Go to the next one. Go to the next one. I put too much slides in there, I'm telling you. Was that 5 minutes plus my extra or inside of the extra? 3 regular grades, so I got 6 now. Thank you. I got so much stuff. So if you go to Jesus' Last Supper, I'm going to read it real fast. I got more slides. I will drink not, and to you I say, of the vine fruit, this from now, from with you I drink it, in which the day until of my Father in the kingdom anew. So you know, Jesus is talking about that vine. This is Christian theology. And Islam took it and redefined the words that they took, because they didn't even have a written language. Right. It wasn't even evolved. You see, you spend too much time talking about me. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact. Go to the next one. If you go over here, the orange-colored surface is decorated with across complex circles and rectangles and bunches of grapes and geometrical motifs around it. If you go here, this is Cappadocia Valleys. You'll find that they have a church called Uzumlu, which means grape church. Christians, again, they have a church of grapes found in the mountains, and the grapes are symbolic of souls. This is Christian symbiology. Go to the next one. Just look up Uzumulu. Let's go to the next one. Here's a 5th century fresco. Fresco means paint embedded into a wall or a ceiling that's made of plastic so it can dry into it. It's a 5th century fresco, meaning it took place in the 400s. In the Egyptian monastery, this is the depiction of the angels receiving souls in the form of grapes. So they have grapes right here. This is Christian theology, not Islam. Go to the next one. We gotta keep going. Here's the 8th century Arabic letter to the king of Nubia. Thank you, Reggie. Gave it to me yesterday. I said I'm gonna try to throw it in there. Okay, the 4 papyrus, not papyrus, brother, and papyrus is. You're a scholar, get it right. Papyri. Arabic scrolls and Coptic with mud ceiling. My brother, go critique the Arabic, I ain't get English right there. Let's go. Go next one. Go century Arabic letter to the king of Nubia. Now we're going back into the horrors of Islam again. The contents of the scroll, first importance in the light, which they throw in a period of Nubia history, with hereto has been poorly documented on special interest in the mention of fact or treaty which had been established between the Nubians and the Arab rulers in Egypt shortly after the conquest of Egypt in 641 AD. Look this up, you're going to find out more about it. Go to the next one. I want to show you the content of this box, which takes place in 758, to let you know what the Muslims were thinking. A slave escaped. They got mad and said, man, you know, give me back my slave. You know what it is. But I'm going to go down to 56, 57. So little singing that about I have written to you, sing and hasten to sing. The dispatching of us, you remain a liability according to the box. Box means covenant or contract for the years to which you owe and do not sin. That in which there is no good, for we do not accept it and sin sing. To us, the merchant of Muhammad Zayed on the wealth which was with him, unless he has been killed, in which case sing the thousands of dinars, his blood money together with the wealth which is him, and sin sing to side the merchant who is among you, not to be tardy. Now listen to this. In that, in any respect that you wish to fulfill of your compact, and to continue as we did dealing correctly with you, hasten to sing, that do not delay if you do not obey, and shall my view concerning what's between me and God willing, I have wanted to exceed the usual bounds and exhort you. I want to go to something else, but in here, in the box, they let you know that they didn't want slaves. On number 55, you have sent me that in which there is no good, the one-eyed or the lame, or the weak old man, or the young boy. These were slave masters, that Muslims, who said, give me the best of niggas, refined, strong football players like my brother here that won the Super Bowl with the Giants. Give me him. Don't give me no old men, don't give me no young boys, don't give me no one-eyed people. This is just to get into the psychology of the slave master, the Arab of that time. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. This is a Negro that owned black people in Zanzibar and sold them out for some Iranian gold to sell to this white man right here. His name is Tibu Tip. He has 7 plantations and 10,000 black men, and this is your black Arab. Look up his name, you're going to see it. Go to the next one. Did his religion stop him from enslaving his own people? Was his worship of Allah enough to stop him from having 7 plantations and enslaving people that look just like him? No, it wasn't. And this man right here kidnapped over 1,000 black women, is in the Guinness Book of World Records for having over 800 children, having double castrated 150 black men in the black guard to become his black slaves, never to procreate themselves again, and the indigenous people of that land now look like him, mulattoes, because they didn't allow us to have sex with our own women. He took them and raped all of them. In his religion, he said he is of the descendancy of Prophet Muhammad, and it wasn't a strong enough conviction to stop him from raping 1,000 black women. Where was Allah at for us at that time? Go to the next one. Go to the next one. The Black Arabian, the African origin of Islam by Dr. Wesley Muhammad. He lets you know that there was a queen of heaven, or they worshiping Allah, a female deity. But the Arabs are mad at that. You can see this on page 85. Give me the next slide. This is what I need to read, Wesley Muhammad, because he want to prove to you that because they identified Allah as a black woman, that Allah is black. But he missed out on this, and notice the sword in the background. Prophet Muhammad sent his mighty one to Nakhla, okay, and Khalid and Walid, and to kill a black woman that said she was God and everybody was worshiping her. Her name was El Uza. When you go down, it says, then composed himself. He saw her, and one of the people at El Uza said, yo, watch out. He saw her, and he severed the woman's hand after reporting his deed to Muhammad, and later said that the black woman El Uza, but she is no more. Prophet Muhammad sent him down to see El Uza, who was worshipped as a goddess, and severed her head and cut it off. This is from a black scholar, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. How the hell you want to support a religion that the prophet sent a black woman to get her head cut off because they worship her as God? Whoa. I'm done. And I had 12 more slides.
Okay.
That's right, black woman is God, man.
All right, what we're going to do here, but hold on just one moment. And I think this is one of the more important things we're going to do. Come on. Brother Najee, can I get you back up here? Brother Polight. Brother Polight.
Brother
Can
Polight.
I get you back up here?
Now,